So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm very excited to have the possibility today talking to you and sharing with you my view on procurement in times of digital transformation. And when we look to the last years, what happened and which trends we faced, so we saw really that hyperconnectivity became very important. So every supplier, every consumer and machines are connected. So it is really disrupting through channels and processes and relationships. Even equally important is all the influence from Industry 4.0. So machines are having sensors, we are looking on robotics, we have 3D printing in place, artificial intelligence is important everywhere, and this will become the new normal, and this will also drive outcome-based economy. Big data is one of the key topics, and big data, years and years before, we were thinking about how we manage big data, how we can really go and get all the data. This is today completely over because the limits of the 20th century computing power are gone. Networking and in-memory computing allow for the creation of new business opportunities. And what is very important and what we face day by day is cloud computing. So technology infrastructure is now rendered to eliminate barriers to entry. So project timelines are dramatically shortened, connections are done everywhere, everything is on the fingertip, what we have today. So these four mega trends are still there, and these are really influencing us in building up our digital roadmap. Nevertheless, we are not only focusing digital trends in the economy, we are also looking internally. What would we like to achieve? We would like for sure to have integrated cloud solutions. We would leverage the big data in regards to advanced analytics. We would like to use our connected business networks in all the areas. Artificial intelligence and machine learning are key. This is really what makes us run in our digital transformation. This is easy said in 2 minutes, but it is a long way. And even we, as SAP, we were not always there. For us, it was as well a long transformation journey. And when you look really where we were coming from, that we started in 1996 with their SAP MM solutions. And this took 8 years before we had SAM 5.0. And then it took only 6 years for SAM 7.0. And then it took only 2 years for the mobile solution. And it took even only 1 year when we went to Ariba. And it took even also only 1 year when we moved to field glass, and so on and so on. So the message what I would like to give you is that in our environment today, digital transformation is also rapidly speedy on the way. And when companies are really not focusing on their digital roadmap, they most probably will suffer to stay connected. The current crisis, and I need to talk about this, the current crisis showed us really the huge difference of companies which have a very solid digital roadmap and companies which do not have end-to-end automated processes. Companies with an end-to-end digital roadmap, they were really prepared for the challenges. They could much easier handle the demand from their stakeholders, from their network. They could connect easily with the supplier. Very important, they could help the supplier to keep their business up and running as well, because they had tools in place that even everyone was in the home office, everyone was on a certain extent disconnected, the system helped everyone to stay connected. We could pay our suppliers in time, we could collaborate with them via the network, we could really easily reach to our employees in the home office as well. And this is really very important when we are looking to a digital roadmap. And when you define a digital roadmap, I really recommend to you that you are focusing on clear vision and goals, that you are not only implementing the digital roadmap to be state of the art, so that you really carefully think about what are your goals. We at SAP, we had 5 clear goals. We said we would like to become really the trusted advisor. We would like to gain the seat at the table. We would like to be involved into all the spend events already when it comes to the budgeting phase. So our goal was, we would like to contribute value to the business. We had a clear vision on sustainability. We said we would like to apply the sustainable practices. We would like to really work together with social enterprises. We would like to focus on the CO2 emissions. The goal was, and still is, to become a purpose-driven organization. And it was clear for us, a clear vision, that we run simple services, processes, that we have a good service attitude supporting these services and processes, that we are going into agile organizational setups, that we stay compliant. Compliance is a huge and important topic for us. But it was a clear goal for us that we keep customer satisfaction. And what was as well the vision, because one thing which we face is definitely a high demand on the procurement organization. It is an increasing volume what we face, but we would like to stay flat with our headcount. So the goal was definitely that we have to automate and eliminate transaction to the maximum extent what we can get. What is needed to fulfill these vision and these goals? Definitely people. And on our agenda, it was the clear vision. We would like to have a highly skilled team of procurement professionals. And this was the goal, to accelerate learning. And this was really the key, this vision and the goal to make this digital transformation happen and run while considering a clear vision and while following clear goals. Let me stay a little bit on the procurement with purpose topic, because these days showed us extremely which difference it makes when you have really to mitigate supplier risk. Because this was already, before the pandemic situation started, one of our key goals. We would like to mitigate supplier and sustainability risks. We were happy that we prepared for that. We said as well we would like to increase the supplier diversity spend ratio. And this diversity has in this sense nothing to do with only gender or geographies. This has also to do with generation and all the other topics. So involving in our supply chain suppliers which have already a footprint in the areas where we were never thinking about. I visited yesterday a supplier of us who is really taking care that old IT equipment is collected and that it will be reused for other companies. This is an NGO organization. This is an organization who employs more than 50% handicapped people. And this is what we had on our roadmap as well. We would like to apply sustainable practices, and sustainable practices are going for us really on CO2 emission. This means for us really green energy. This means for us a green leaf on the IT equipment. This means for us really not only focusing on the environment, but as well on the social impact to avoid child labor, things like that, to avoid that we are not be careful with resources. So this is a broad field. And as I said already a couple of minutes before, we would like to develop and inspire people. The war for talent, this is not only a nice say, this is real at the market. So we have to really focus on developing and inspiring our talents on the one hand side, so not that they are leaving us, and on the other hand side to attract more and more people. So this was a little bit an insight into our vision, into our goals, which we had to start with the transformation in the digital way of the procurement organization. And when I talk about the digital transformation, it is a huge transformation which affects a lot of employees in your company. It is not only the organization, the procurement organization. It is not only the buyer. You have also to take care of your supplier and have them make ready for the transformation. You have to take care of your stakeholders because you have to prepare them as well with your change management. And when you look to all these 4 dimensions, and you can remember what I said a couple of minutes ago, so the organization has to be cloud ready. We would like to gain the seat at the table of the business. This means we have not longer to look only on a P2P end-to-end process. We have to establish a demand-to-pay process in the cloud. When you look to our buyers, they are great individuals with amazing skills, but the skills are not enough any longer. So what we need a role-based training for each and every buyer. If it is a category lead, if it is a strategic buyer, if it is a tactical buyer, or if it is an employee in the shared service center. We need dedicated learning programs for all of them. And we need continuous development programs, because with the digital transformation, definitely there is as well a change in the jobs. Jobs which were relevant years and years ago down the street may become not relevant in the future. But this is not a problem. This should not fear your employees, because a lot of new jobs are coming. People can work now much more strategically, but for this they have to be trained. And I mentioned it already, suppliers. We have to take care, and we have a huge responsibility of suppliers. I very often say the supplier is the customer of the procurement team. We have to take them at the hand. We have to work with them on their onboarding for the networks. We have to convince them to use the networks. And this is not only that we, SAP, can sell the Ariba network, it is really for their best, because at any point in time, they can see, where is their transaction? Is the invoice posted? When can they expect their money? So they can maintain their things on their own. This is very important, but this needs education on the supplier side as well. And this is the responsibility of a procurement team. And the stakeholders. We have to convince our external and internal stakeholders, definitely, because working with mobile applications is different as working like we did before. We have holistically to engage with them. We have to be very open for their asks. We have to be very open for their problems as well. Because when we want to become the business value enabler, we have to assure that we understand perfectly their topics in their line of business. And I really bet with you, when we take care holistically of this transformation circle, of the organization, the buyer, the supplier, and the stakeholder, we will get great benefits out of it. We will become a highly strategic procurement organization. We will have efficiency through the demand to pay process. We will have strong buyers focusing on events they never focused before. We will have long year suppliers who are delivering innovation to us, who really say, yes, it is easy to work together with them. And we will have happy stakeholders because they see definitely the value of a procurement team helping them to reach their ambition goals and targets. One thing, ladies and gentlemen, here today is clear. The change is the most constant thing around us. The change will be constant for procurement. The challenges and the priorities go far, far, far beyond. We have to drive a really strong collaboration. We have to optimize the predictive tools. We have to reskill again and again and again the entire workforce. And we have to automate and streamline processes and systems and tools to a maximum extent. I would like to thank you for listening. You see, I'm very passionate about the digital transformation, and I look forward getting your questions now or hearing your opinion, which you maybe share with me and the audience. Thanks a lot for joining today.
What could procurement invest into the security issue of these companies? What's the position of SAP about that from the perspective of procurement function? What do you do for yourselves?
That's a great question, and thanks a lot for the ones who ask this, because cybersecurity, security of data, security in the internet, this is one of the most burning topics these days. And it is in the companies, it is in your private life, it is everywhere. And we from the procurement team, we have a huge responsibility for that as well, because in SAP, you can imagine we have a lot of security teams established. If it is physical security, if it is cyber security, if it is IT security, and it is our role, it is our absolutely responsibility that we serve these teams with the highest priority. So this is really key. And what you can do is to gain knowledge from the market, which are great companies who can help you to build up your security roadmap and to implement it, because we have to defend the data. This is absolutely, there is no doubt about. And SAP has a roadmap for data security, cyber security, IT security, and it is procurement who has to support this in all areas.
Thank you so much. Thank you. We have the time for the next speech already, but I'm so grateful for you, for your time, for your speech. I will use the opportunity. We'll come back to the topic of leadership later and female leadership in the procurement and supply chain.
You're welcome. Bye-bye. Have a good meeting.
Bye. До свидания.
Bye-bye. Bye.